Hello, mate. You're right.
Yeah, I'm not so bad here.
Yeah, good, good. Welcome, guys. Music Workflow Academy podcast. I think number 9. I might be mistaken, or it's number 7. We got CB Disco Kid, a prolific artist that we signed to our label. Uh, Believed in his music, and yeah, he's an awesome guy. So yeah, introduce yourself, Chris, if you like.
Oh, hi guys. Yeah, my name is Chris, formerly known as CB Disco Kid. I've got quite a few records signed to me now. Um, First got introduced through Omar, through the work for Academy. It's just been a journey that's been incredible.
We're not even getting started, are we, Chris? We got 70k streams on your first EP, and it's really done amazing. I tell everyone about it. The kind of synth pop, 70s, 80s, disco-y, trancey kind of sound that you've got. It's a little bit grimy. I really enjoy it. It's always a pleasure hearing your new tracks, and I'm sure we'll probably sign another EP at some point. The improvements I've heard are great. So yeah, welcome to the label. I'm a bit late today because I was just recording a DJ mix, a 4 deck DJ mix for someone. So there's that. So Chris, what's your favorite DAW? What do you use to work on? Tell the listeners.
Yeah, I actually use Ableton. I'm now using the trial version of Ableton 11 actually. Probably going to buy that very soon. Before that was an Ableton 10. Amazing piece of kit.
Yeah. Oh,
Has all of the features in there anybody could use. Even as a learner, they have the facility to, you can easily make a record and get signed to a label just through Ableton and no external plugins.
it's brilliant, isn't it? And for beginners, it can be quite daunting at times when you look at Ableton. And I remember when I first saw it, it was the first DAW that I used properly, apart from in school. And I was just like, what does all these buttons do? And then thought, I'm gonna get big enough and help others learn it. So that's why we've got Music Workflow Academy, and of course to scout talent. It's a multifaceted organization. It's kind of becoming the music industry in a way that we're helping upcoming artists in ways that I've never seen in my 10 years in the music industry. I've never seen anyone help as many people as us in such a short period of time. And my favorite part is connecting with artists like you, Chris, and bringing that talent on board and helping develop it, and showing you things that you know we as producers might not know about. Things like we looked at sync licensing deals and stuff that not many producers know even exist. Like for those that don't know, sync licensing deals, it's a way to get your music signed to a major company's advert or promotion, and it's one of the quickest ways to make money. We're trying to get Chris on an advert at the moment, looking for opportunities left, right, and centre. It's a bit scarce at the moment, a bit skimpy, but we're going to try and find one because it's kind of worth it. Because the amount that you can make that investment into your studio, nice 5-figure sum normally, and obviously great recognition as an artist if you're watching TV and you see your song on a Mercedes advert.
Absolutely.
So, how long have you been producing music for, Chris?
I've been producing music for about 10 years now.
Blimey, that's a long time. It shows in your production. You've got a great versatility of sound that I like when I'm DJing. I've got the versatility of different genres, but with music, when you're kind of combining these genres, you really that's how I think is the shortcut, the secret to getting your own sound and becoming an established artist so quickly is when you think how could we make a techno combination with trance or jazzy hip hop, stuff like that. It really stands out because I think as music listeners, we can appreciate the effort that goes into this work and how hard it is to create something original. it feels like everything's been done. I was on a podcast the other day that's going live, and we spoke about, how can we change the music industry? How can we, what's not been done? And I was saying, everything's been done. Everyone, you go back to the 80s and they've got progressive house and Italo disco and stuff that people make nowadays, and sounds the same as 20 years ago. So we're kind of in a loop, stuck in a loop of music. So when you fuse these genres together, you create new possibilities for something that I've never heard. And as an audiophile, I love my music. I've never heard two of my favorite genres, synthy kind of, I don't know whether to call it synth pop or, synth wave, synth, they call it all sorts of stuff, but that kind of like Miami Vice picture in a sound, the colors, and then you combine that with trance, which is, super euphoric already. You get this, that's the sweet spot of sound. And I find a lot of the music that does well is a combination of at least two genres, or delving into something different or a subgenre. And yeah, so how many listeners are you up to now, Chris, after a year?
I think the last time I had a look, I was up to 81,000 now, I think it is.
81,000 streams in a year. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're looking at, I think that's over 5K a month, which is amazing. That's over 1,000 a week. So hats off to you. That's it's a great effort, and I think it reflects the music. We worked on the artwork. I think we're going to be working on another some other secret stuff that I can't say on the podcast, but just stuff to promote Chris as an artist like he deserves. It's too rare nowadays for people to support each other in the music industry, and it's just the world we're living in. People kind of like to hoard information and don't tell anyone the secrets that they know, and I think it's refreshing when someone who is in a good position can extend the table, as I say. You're sitting at your table with your friends, we've all got loads of food, and you can extend that table and more people can sit at your table, and then you have more friends. So it's a great way to connect with others. I'm going to mention another artist. Obviously, we've got Chris, the newest artist on Atmos Tempo, the label. We're always looking for new talent, but it's always got to be something special. We've had a lot of artists submit music recently, and it's not stand out for me, so I'm not going to put it out. And speaking to a lot of other people in the music industry, and they say it's the best way to go, having a concentrated sound that fits the theme of the label. We like Atmos is atmosphere, and it stands for, we like atmospheric sounds and things like Anjuna Deep, but a bit more dance floory, and I think that's what we've got with our artists at the moment. Obviously our own sound a bit more refined, I think. I prefer it. And like I said, I'm going to talk about another artist that we got signed. So Blake Strange from Australia. We released his Rainbow Road EP. He shot a music video, and he's now performing festivals around the world. He did really well with his first release. Bunch of streams, and we helped him cement his place in the industry. I think we were the first label to sign him as well. We do often look for fresh talent that are looking for that first label, because if most artists don't get to this stage, do they, Chris, where you're good enough to say this is a huge step for any artist. I think putting your music on a record label, because it essentially it kind of cements your legacy, and it means you're going to live forever, because after the next 50 years, your music's going to be on all of these platforms. And I've set it up so that if any new stores do arrive, then your music goes straight to them as well. So you've kind of created a legacy for yourself, something that was a goal of mine as well, to make a song. And if anything does happen to me, then I'll have that song people can listen to, and something to remember me by. I mean, that's where I was coming from when I wanted to sign to I wanted to create an artifact for myself. And yeah, such a good thing to do as an artist. I think you need to sign to a record label. In my opinion, it's a strong opinion, but I think signing to record labels opens up doors for you. It's a huge part, for networking, and those doors can lead anywhere, can't they, Chris? We're targeting, Armin van Buren and Armada music, for Chris's future music, because his music is that good, and I believe in it, and I know we can get it there. It might take a while, but we're knocking on the door, aren't we? We're knocking on these
Yeah,
doors.
absolutely.
We're talking about the doors, and I think that's it. Sometimes the door isn't locked, and you can kick it down. You can kick the door open. So, with my marketing brain and Chris's music, we can promote him as an artist and make sure he's getting fair, equal opportunities that he deserves. And there's no limit, really. When you've been producing for 10 years, you deserve to be signed to these bigger labels. So he's put the time in, he's put the effort in. We're on this podcast, and we're just gonna keep doing what we're doing, creating content, and I think that's the key in today's day and age. If me and Chris was to go down the street, blaring his music on a speaker, it's gonna help, but it's not gonna have the impact that we can harness social media as positive and negative the effects of social media can be. Putting Chris's music on social media means that anyone anywhere can listen to it. And
Yeah, I mean, just touching on that as well, Omar,
yeah,
you've also got the radio aspects as well, because obviously
much,
I got signed to a label. Before I even got signed to a label, I was being aired on the radio,
yeah,
my local radio station. I think that can help a lot as well,
yeah,
because it means
huge,
it's
huge,
getting out there. It's
huge step. Yeah, radio. Chris getting played on the radio is a testament to how good his music is, and he's a humble guy. As a producer, you need to be grounded and stay focused, or you can get carried away. First radio play, and then maybe you don't produce as much music, you need to use that as motivation and fuel. And I think every successful producer can harness both negative and positive energy and use it to fuel themselves forward, um, to create a positive impact. I feel like there are some producers who may not have their best intentions of their listeners and human beings. If you're a bit of a nasty person, I think it will definitely come out as soon as the limelight hits you. And I've seen it happen with a lot of big DJs. They do well, and then they do something funny behind stage that not everyone knows about, and it kind of they cancel their own career. And I'm not a fan of cancel culture. People have tried to cancel me. It never works, because it only ends when you stop putting the work in. And we're putting that consistent work in. I'm in the studio every day. Chris is in the studio. We're making music and honing our craft. And I think if you go back, a few hundred years ago, that's what people did as jobs. They had a craft and they honed it. If they were making bread, they'd bake bread. They wouldn't, you know, that's what they'd do. And if you're making music, make more music. That's the key to making good music, I think. What do you think, Chris? What's your key to making good sounding electronic music?
I think how I would perceive it is, I think you've got to have your own sound.
Yeah.
Um, you know, a lot of people copy different people, and I don't think that's always the way to go. It's like, oh, he's making the same sort of music, whereas with me, I try and make it something so it's unique. So it has that disco element, right? We were talking about earlier, a disco element, the trance, and even a little bit of a deep house as well. And it's quite unique, because not many people or not many producers have actually made music like that. It's either one genre or the other. Um, well, I think all I can say to people who are, looking at maybe doing that or possibly copying other artists doesn't always bode well, because I think if you've got your own style, I
Mm,
think that goes a long way.
definitely. That's definitely near the top of my list, is, making your own sound. And my advice to people, if you're thinking, it's all well and good us saying make your own sound, but people might be thinking, where do you start with that? And for one, you don't want to be listening to, let's say, Martin Garrix, and then trying to recreate animals and then trying to release it. That's it's not going to work. You can learn techniques from his music, of course, but implementing them in your own way, I feel, is how I do things. So, for example, using a reference track and then delving into how they made the kick drum and how they made the bass line, recreate it, and then add your own spin. So if for example there's a nice organ bass line, let's say from the Korg M1, which I know Chris uses, I'm a fan as well.
A lot, yeah.
It's so good, isn't it?
Yeah.
For those that don't know, the Korg M1 is it's an old school synthesizer made by Korg. I think they're a German company, and the sound's coming back over the past few years, and I think that's how me and Chris kind of bonded through music, because we both acknowledged that sound was great and how it's coming back and still is great. And it's a killer bass line, the chorus sound on it, the sub, it's got all the characteristics of a great sound. And writing with it is really fun, because you can create melodies, you can create bass lines, synth layers, and it's a great synth. For me, that we both like the organ preset, obviously, which is classic. We've got that preset on Music Workflow Academy, so if you want to download that, it's there, but for free, I think. But yeah, no, that connecting through sound is it's an amazing thing. And when you're creating your own sound as well, like Chris has made his own sound that I don't think any other artist is doing, or at least not doing that well as Chris. You also develop your own audience quicker, which I think shows in his streams, because he's gone niche. By niche I mean in a deep market that people wouldn't normally think to go. But that's actually how you create advocacy, and loyalty in your listenership or your viewership. You go into that niche, and then you're basically creating your own audience. And I think that's how Chris got over 80,000 streams in a year. It's not normal to do that, really. With the help of us, Chris has achieved that. And I'm just thinking, if you made something that sounded a bit dull and samey, I don't think it would get the same reaction. And I think you got #1 on a chart as well, didn't you?
That's correct. Yeah, it was called the VIRP. Let me get that right. Yeah, VIRP.
No.
And I've been twice. I've been #1 on that chart.
Nice.
Over 150 songs, I think it was.
Jesus Christ. So was that on two singles from?
Two separate singles, yeah.
Was that they're both from the EP?
Yes.
Oh well, there you go then. So to have two #1s on on the same EP, on your first EP on our label, I mean, it doesn't get much better than that, in my opinion. If you want to stand out as a producer, obviously making your own sound, and I think experimenting with different things that you wouldn't normally use. And I think #3, quality of information. You want to be listening to people who have achieved what you want to achieve. So, for example, when we found Chris, I've signed to a record label, so I know what it's like to sign to a record label. So, as a record label, I can improve on that experience, which is why I started a record label, and we provide Chris with a lot more help than you would get from the average label, and a lot more follow-on support. And I think it shows. Some artists are afraid to promote their work, either because of self-confidence issues. They may think, no one's going to like it, or it's not ready. But that kind of does boil down to a self-confidence issue. You need to share your music. If no one hears it, no one's going to know if it's good or not. And you're not going to know if it's good or not, because you might think it's great and then you show everyone and they will hate it. But or you might think it's awful and then everyone likes it, which is adversely the effect that you want. Really, you want everyone to love it. And I think it's we're going to touch on it a bit. It's a bit of a shame that I'm sure there's loads of great producers out there that don't share their work. You know, I get a lot of people following the Music Workflow Academy Instagram, and they send us songs. You know, it's at Music Workflow Academy, and they send us songs, and they're amazing. Like, I've seen some kids like making the most amazing music, and I say keep it up, and they go, oh, but it's rubbish. Like, they don't believe in their music. And me and Chris are fortunate. I don't know about you, Chris, but I believed in myself from the very start that my music was going to be great. I worked until it got there. Did you have any, confidence?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, when I first started, um, I'll be honest with you guys, it's not a quick fix. When you start making music, it's patience is a virtue. I mean, like I say, I've been doing it 10 years. You can't say to someone, right, I'm going to learn music, I'm going to be signed to a label, unless you a maestro or genius. Within a couple of weeks, it's not going to happen.
I don't. I don't.
You need to
Sorry to
put
interrupt
that
you, Chris.
mix.
Sorry to interrupt you, Chris. I don't think that even if you are maestro genius, I don't think you know it's not going to happen in the first few
No.
weeks. We have conversely to that, though, we have had students on Music Workflow Academy. For example, our first ever student, we taught him DJing, and then because he got the ear for it, we upskilled him into music production, and then he ended up making some really good music. So we meet on a regular basis, and he picked it up, because he was learning from, I think is my fourth point, learning from a direct source of information, a good source of information, which is kind of my third point. But listening to people who have that success, you're only, it's like let's say you want a good water company, and you want your water to be good. You go to the best spring, the best mountains to get that water. You're not going to get that water from a muddy tap, or from, no matter what you do to the muddy water, it's not going to be as good as from the mountains or the Highland Springs kind of thing. That water brand, if you're listening, sponsor us. Send us some free water. But yeah, I've always filtered this information, and I can rarely watch a YouTube tutorial now because they're so bad that I don't learn anything positive from it. I only learn bad techniques and bad habits. So I can't stomach more than 3 seconds of a lot of videos on YouTube, because my style is so refined. I don't need their help because it actually hinders me. So sometimes you need to be careful of who you listen to in the industry, because if they're not got the success you want as a mentor, this applies to anything. Fitness, you wouldn't listen to someone who's not as in the right shape, for fitness, or you wouldn't listen to a scientist that has no background experience as a scientist. Like, it's probably going to ruffle some feathers, but all those people claiming that the COVID vaccine is poisonous, do they have a science background? So that you wouldn't listen to those people. You'd listen to people with science, medical background. But that's just my opinion. But I think with music, especially, listen to the people you want to be like, or listen to people with relevant experience. I think that's really important. And so what have we done, Chris? We got your music on Spotify, Beatport, over 40 stores. I got it on Beatport in the end. That was like a 3 month uphill battle, but we did that. And got you in the charts, some radio plays,
Yeah,
and
radio players.
now we're gonna make a music video, a new music video, another one. The other one, I really liked it, and it's kind of like dance floory disco vibe. I think it was DiscoKid. We did, it's
That's
a
right. Yeah.
four track EP, I think, and yeah, we got DiscoKid, which did well, on YouTube as well, and
Deep Blue as well. That's a good one.
Deep Blue. Oh yeah, yeah. I like Deep Blue. They're all very good. I think it was a multifaceted EP. There was deep house. There was trance, bit disco. You don't see that. That does not happen nowadays. It doesn't happen. People don't do that. people don't have the knowledge, people don't have the skills, people don't have the creativity. I think it does definitely require an aspect of intelligence. So hats off to Chris. I've done a few multi-genre EPs, and they work very well. I find, because it's not easy to showcase everything and package it, and it sounds so good. So I think that's a great thing in itself. And going forward, I like to focus with my students and artists on a North Star. So a North Star is, where are we going? What's the objective of what we're doing? What's the dream outcome? So we're looking at the top labels, Armada, Monster Cat, and Juna Deep, stuff like that. And Chris is going at it every day. And I think, what's your unreleased tracks looking like, Chris? Have you got an EP there?
Yeah, I've been working on a few different things because I've actually, since being signed to Atmos Tempo Records, I've actually now signed to 3 other labels as well. So I've been very, very busy. I've got other stuff released on different labels as well. It just shows you that getting signed to one label doesn't stop there.
Exactly. It's almost opening that door. We were talking about earlier. You open that door, and then you're in the party. There's all these opportunities for you. You've got that foothold in the industry, and it's a million miles ahead than most producers. It's a million. There's so many steps between starting music production and getting signed to a record label. People don't realize how difficult it is. That's why we offer our Ableton course. It teaches you how to make that first track. It teaches you some of the techniques me and Chris looked at, how to get signed to a record label and what to do after that, making sure your music's distributed, making sure that you're getting your artwork complete, and the mastering side of things, which is hard. People don't even know about mastering when they start producing. Some people don't know about the mixing side of things. I think we had a look at the mixes of some of your tracks before we signed them, didn't we, Chris? To see if there's anything.
That's correct. Yeah.
We tidied up some of the projects, and you need a high level of skill to do these things. It's not for anyone. Not anyone can do these things. I can even give someone all of the tools, and if they're not willing to implement them properly, it's not going to work. Albeit though, the course is simple, it's easy to follow, and it will get you results. Like Chris, I think after completing the course, you might need a few one-to-ones with me to solidify your tracks a bit and understand how to package them as an EP, and then obviously pitching to record labels. You need the sound. Obviously there's the opportunity to sign to our record label, but it needs to be good music first and foremost, or we're not going to put it out because it's not worth my time. And so there's a million steps between starting music production and being a successful music producer. And you need the right attitude. You need to put the hours in. Like Chris said, you're not going to just be good at making tracks overnight. You're not going to be good at making tracks in the first week. My tracks, my first 50 sucked. How about you, Chris? When was your first good track?
It'll make you laugh, to be honest, guys. I very first started on software called Fruity Loops, and I literally thought it was a game. I thought it was a fruit. So messing about with these sounds, and they sounded horrendous, absolutely horrendous. But I thought, you know what? I'm not bothered. I'm enjoying it, and I think that's quite a big thing as well. You've got to enjoy what you do, and you've got to enjoy what you love.
Yeah.
So, and then from there, it just spiraled. I got better and better and better, and then, like I say, I got to the point where I'm thinking, I want to tweak my sound a bit more so it's my own. And that's where I then started getting onto Ableton and really got into it seriously.
Oh, that's brilliant. I actually started on FL as well. I was eager, I was ready to go. 8 years of DJ experience under my belt, supported the biggest DJs, and then people said, "Oh, you want to go further? You need to make your own music to have a lasting impact." And I was like, "Do you know what? Challenge accepted." So with zero, years of experience, I turned to FL, which looked like the easiest one to use, and it was just awful. Like I just felt like a 6-year-old or using like Microsoft Paint or something, and
Yeah.
I was just like, right, this isn't going to work. After playing with the reverb and stuff, how silly does all that look? The reverb and it's like a little circle thing. Oh, awful, awful. If you know about Fruity Loops, then if you're a user, I'll be surprised. Come to Ableton. I'll teach you, how to use it. It's much better than Fruity Loops. Ableton's by far the industry standard for me. Um, I used the Fruity Loops and I was like, I'm gonna have to take a step back and just say no. It's not good enough. Like this is not good enough. I'm going to do my research and make an executive decision on which is the best door for me. So I do feel if you are a band, I'd go for Logic because of the way it's designed. But I feel for forward to the floor music, it's got to be Ableton. It's got to be, you know, with the session view and the looping and the easy drag and drop samples, which is a nightmare in FL, along with another bunch of things that are a nightmare in FL. And Ableton 11 has taken all of Fruity Loop's best features and improved on them. I don't know if you've seen the new 808 slides and the MPL features, which, if you want to learn more about, get in touch with me for a lesson. But it's safe to say Chris is an expert in music production, which is it's great to work with like-minded minds. And I think so many people out there, Chris, they're absolute novice beginners, absolute beginners. You know, uh,
Yeah, I think I agree with you there, to be fair. And the thing is as well, they think that they've got that talent. That's the thing that concerns me a little. They think, oh, I'm really, really good, and then as soon as they actually get to like you or another label or whoever or a collaborator or whatever, and they hear it, I think they get quite a shock.
yeah, that I think they'll get their first rejection and just give up because I think it's the type of people that they are. I think you can put us in the top 1% because I don't know about you, but I've faced hundreds, if not thousands, of rejections from, clubs if they don't want to book me, record labels, people in general not believing in me. And you get so much as a producer that people don't see. You get, it's hard to get your music out there. It's, how did you find me, Chris? Was it through the course?
I found it through the course. Yeah.
Through the course. So there you go, guys. That's the catalyst right there. You know, get in on the course. Um, and you're going to learn a lot about Ableton. It does take you from beginner to expert, but it's helpful for experts. Like looking, me and Chris, we look up to artists like Armin van Buuren and the top people, but we've come a long way ourselves. I think we're at the top of the mountain, and they're just in a whole nother mountain which we are going to, but we've climbed the mountain. There's been a lot of obstacles. It's taken Chris 10 years to sign to this record label, to the first record label. So if you think you're great and you've been doing it for a few weeks, you're probably wrong. And if you disagree with me, send us the music and we'll be the judge, because I've received some awful music. All of my students, I'm fortunate because they're very good. They're quick to learn, but I say 99% of people out there, they listen to the wrong information. They listen to their friends who suck as well at music production, and the entitlement and ego of some of these producers and people. They've just got their head in the sand. They're wrong. Um, it is a bit concerning. It is concerning, but you can't. Me and Chris focus above. We don't look below.
Mm.
There's they're not going to get to this level, unfortunately. There's not much that you can do for some people.
Mm.
I'd say 40% of producers. There's nothing I can do for them because they're not willing to learn. They're not willing to adapt and pick up the new habits. And that's why I like getting a fresh student, because it's like putty, and I can teach them a quick workflow and how to arrange their music. But some people they're too far gone, aren't they? There's no there's no helping them. And
No, absolutely. I mean, and the other day, I mean, I sent Omar it was just a little example that I'd created, just with a synth. I'd messed about with it and I just turned it on, put some reverb on, put some delay on it, a quick 4x4 on it, and just sent him it. And that's how I am, to be fair. It's like if I feel that something's quite good, I'll send it.
yeah, that's it. And it's having that awareness and knowledge as well. Not everyone's got the awareness. Is my music good? You need to build that awareness by sending your music out and getting feedback. I sent out my first few tracks. Some people said this is awful, but where are they now? They haven't progressed, and I have, because I didn't give up. And I think the difference is a growth and winners mindset, and then you've got a loser, a fixed mindset. People don't know that they can grow, and they think they know it all. That's the problem. They think they know it all, but they're not equipped. They're not 1% equipped to handle real life, handle adult life, handle progressing, handle these steps. I don't think they've got the minerals, because I was watching. I don't know if you watch any motivational speakers. I was watching Jordan Peterson earlier, and he's saying that the meaning of mankind, the meaning of men, is to find your purpose. Find what you're good at, and hone your craft. That's the purpose of man. To pursue that. And I think, for me, not enough people do that. Not enough people pursue their real goals. And I think some people here are going to switch off because they think of responsibility, they think of the hard bit, they think about the steps you have to take. But me and Chris got there by taking the right steps, taking the right action, following the right guidance. I mean, I'm self-taught. Chris has been doing it for 10 years. I think Chris is self-taught, but obviously he's taken the course, and I think that's helped him a little bit, and obviously put him in contact with me. And off the back of that, getting signed to a record label, you've got to put yourself out there. And I think people are stuck in the comfort zone. They think they know it all. You need to get out of the comfort zone. It's been an uncomfortable journey for me. I don't know about you. What about you, Chris?
No, it has. I mean, the amount of rejections I've had has been,
Yeah.
horrendous. But, on the same hand, music is my life. Music is my passion. And I would say to anyone, if music is your passion, don't let it stop you. Get out there, get your record out there, get it to the labels, and it doesn't matter how many rejections you get, because it's just that one label that might turn around and say, "Do you know what? I'm very interested in this."
It's true. It's so true. It's exactly what's happened with you. And I've had some pretty brutal no's in my time. I remember my first. Let's talk about my first signing. Oh god, it gives me shivers, man. Like, I sent my music to a lot of labels, and a lot of them said no. The amount of labels that don't reply, we make sure we reply to each artist, and we give detailed feedback, which not many labels do that. They'll just ignore you and then leave it at that, and that's normal in the music industry. So we're trying to change that. But if you've got any music that you want to send to us, guys, send it to atmostemporecords@gmail.com, and we'll get back to you with a bit of feedback, at the least. A bit of free feedback. It'll help you improve your music. But I faced a lot of no's, and so one guy said, "Why are you sending me this music? Who do you think you are? Do you think you're Richie Hawtin or whatever?" And I was like, Jesus, this guy's a fucking loser, mate. What an idiot. And then I signed to a label bigger than his, the next email I sent. And that's just how it works. Like, it is, you can't let these stupid people get you down. They've given up on their dreams. They're not going to make it. So at the end of the day, you got the choice. It's a choice to be, isn't it, Chris? It's a choice to be a winner. It's a choice to be positive and
Yeah,
pursue your dreams.
100%.
And anyone who believes otherwise is wrong. Um, but here we are. We've got our eyes set on some big sites. There's some big stuff going on behind Music Workflow Academy that people don't know about. We've got some partnerships. We've just been interviewed today to be a success story on a really big platform. So you'll be seeing that. There's a podcast that I've got to approve with a big company, they interview billionaires normally, but they interviewed me, and that was nice. So he said, when you're a billionaire, you can come on, and I said, okay, we'll see. And yeah, we're going to the Houses of Parliament on week after my birthday, a few weeks after my birthday. I've got some headline shows in London in March, in the Shoreditch area. What else have we got on? There's a big one. I think we're going to be a success story on another business. And the thing is with Music Workflow Academy is we're a family. We look after each other, and I make sure my artists are taken care of. I make sure that we're all growing together. So these massive investments that I'm making, hopefully they pay off, and the artists are going to get dividends in their work from what we're doing. And that's what it's all about, really. Just keep pushing to that next step. It's just about taking one baby step, isn't it? And not getting disheartened. Email your first label, finish another track, and just keep doing that. If you just follow those two simple steps, finish a track, send it to a label, finish a track. If you don't know where to send your music, take the course. It tells you everything in there. Comes with email templates to send to record labels, where to find record labels. It comes with all the tools to make your first track. It comes with tools how to improve your music skills if they're not there yet. And it teaches you all the key techniques like workflow, arrangement to make a great track. And I think that for the price, it's a steal. It's a great idea. It's a great price, and I fully believe in it. And the team working with us at the moment, they think it's a great idea as well. So go and buy that now if you haven't already, guys. I'll put a link below, but go to musicworkflowacademy.com and click on courses, and then it'll be there and you can grab it. There's unlimited quantity, so just go get it, and I don't have to restock it. You just go buy it, and once you've finished it, be one of these artists like Chris and drop me a message. Everyone who's dropped me a message after finishing the course has done extremely well. You need to follow up on these things. You can't just take a lesson with me and think you're a god and then stop there just because I gave you all the tools. You need to keep going. These artists take a few lessons with me and then they drop off because they become irrelevant. They don't have anyone to ask questions. You're going to need the support basically at the end of the day. It's a part of networking, isn't it, Chris? I think that's a skill that you must.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm constantly in touch with you at Omar. If anything new coming on and things like that, and we have like a chat, and he tells me what's going on, what developments. And from when I first joined Music Workflow Academy, it was fairly new from what I understood, and now it's just grown, incredibly fast. Really has.
Yeah, when did you get in, Chris? Do you remember what?
God, I think it was last year actually.
Last year? The growth has been amazing. The growth has been amazing. Yeah. What month? Do you know what month?
I think it was when. Let me see. She's going back now. When's not working? June, possibly. I think it might have been.
June. Blimey, you got in early.
Yeah.
That's just before we went very viral. We went very, very viral just after June. I think it was July. We went very viral. We got over 7,000 students in a day. I went to bed and woke up, and we got 7,000 new students in our courses, and that was just brilliant. And that's what we're all about. We're about helping these artists, beginners. We're mostly aimed at beginners because there's not enough support there for beginners, but the courses do cater for advanced and expert producers. There's every single producer on this planet can learn something from the course. There's no producer that knows everything I do because I am self-taught, and a lot of my information isn't on the internet because I created these techniques. They're my techniques that I decided to share. Things like widening your sound. There's some techniques that I've shown, we use with Chris that there's no producers know about these techniques. I promise you. You have my guarantee. If you take the course and you don't, all of the techniques, I'll give you your money back, and I'll pay you £200 if you know everything in there. And because it's impossible, there's stuff that I've created that it's just not out there. And it's a testament to my creativity. It's a testament to my experience. We there's we did that ad earlier in the year, didn't we? I don't know if you saw that Absolute Radio thing that we did where with Denise, and I think she won £2,000 just from guessing our
That's right, yeah.
business name. It's brilliant. And you got to celebrate these small wins. Like even right now, I'm brainstorming ideas for future producers who join Music Workflow Academy. I want them to join. They're going to get a sample pack, a template, presets. I shouldn't be saying this on the podcast. I'm writing it as we're speaking, but a little beginner's package, just to get people started. Because when I started, I didn't have any samples. I didn't know how to arrange a song. I didn't know how to write a bass line. I didn't know what chords were. I didn't know what chord progressions were. I was really green, fresh, and I asked, a dozen of my friends for help, and they all said, "Yeah, sure, we'll help you." And then no one got back to me. And they're nowhere to be seen now. I've left them in the dust and lapped them about 500 times. So that's a lesson, for working with me, you're going to go very quickly in the right direction because I've figured out how to do that. And B, you can't always rely on the people around you. Sometimes, environment is extremely important. If no one around you believes in you, you're going to lose a part of your competitive advantage. And, if everyone around you is a loser and they don't do anything, it's going to negatively impact on you. If people are saying your music sucks around you, you need to get new friends. You need to get new people that are pursuing their dreams, that are pursuing their goals, that are making music, that are successful in music. My friend circle is extremely successful. Extremely. They're getting top tens on Beatport. They're playing every single week. They're absolutely crushing it, and I'm very lucky to have met them. And then you get the other side of the coin: immature, ignorant, head in the sand, not pursuing their dreams, not taking risks. And I can't relate to these people. I don't know about you, Chris. I can't relate to them. Like I've just, one day something changed in me, and I said, I'm going to go for my dreams. I'm not going to stop until I get there. And all that's done is lead to money, success, popularity, and everything I've ever wanted. Do you know what I mean? It's hard to live a life without chasing your dreams, as it's even equally as hard as chasing them. I think leading a life of mediocrity and being unhappy is never on my agenda. I've got a 40-year plan. I've had a 40-year plan since 18. I'm not going to peak in skills. I'm not going to peak in music talent. I'm not going to peak in DJ talent and opportunities. By peaking, I mean, hitting my ceiling. I'm just going to keep going because there is no ceiling. Is there? There's no ceiling. You just keep going. And you can ask the bigger.
I think you touched on this earlier, Omar. Sorry to interrupt there, but I think you touched on it earlier in relation to watching YouTube videos. And people watch these YouTube videos, and it's not the skills. Where if they actually look at the Workflow Academy, it's completely different. I mean, I used to, when I very first started, many years ago, looked at YouTube videos and it was like, this isn't really working for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely agree with you there, Omar, that YouTube is not the way to go. It's learning from a professional.
Thank you, Chris. I really appreciate that. And anyone who's listening, I'm giving you a virtual hug. If you feel empowered by our talk, you're getting a virtual hug from me, and we're gonna make sure you get there. Use Chris as an example. Take inspiration from him. He's pursued his dreams. He's achieved, light years ahead of what other producers have achieved, and hit major goals. He's, I didn't get 80k streams on my first EP, and it just shows that sometimes your goals are delayed, but they're going to be bigger than you can imagine. So, it took me 2.5 years to get my first DJ set. but it ended up being for a global brand, and then I ended up being a resident, and then I ended up playing for one of the biggest brands in the world. So it took 2.5 years, but I didn't give up, and that's it. That's the main thing. Just don't give up. Be consistent. That's my secret, at least, is being consistent. I used to focus on being intense. I'd work 24 hours a day or something like that. Now I work 14 hours a day, 7 days a week, because I can do that. My work energizes me, and I get to talk to people like Chris, and that's my favorite part about the job is meeting clever people with brilliant minds, and they're massive music heads, and we can just talk about music. I'd say most people listening to this don't know what a Korg M1 is. They don't know about, they don't have that depth of music knowledge, or a Casio keyboard. Maybe they do, but it's about that knowledge. Knowledge is power, and practicing making music is going to make you better at making music. It's nothing else. These YouTube videos, they suck. Trust me and Chris, we started in the same place. We went to YouTube. The videos sucked. The people teaching sucked. And, as the years went by, it took me ages to finish my first tutorial. I didn't know what chords were. I didn't know what scales were. I had to go and learn that. I actually started on the Ableton website, where they had like a little thing where you can go and play chords and all that stuff and write bass lines, very beginner stuff. And I bought some courses, and I took the courses, and the courses have absolutely nothing on what we're providing. Nowhere near the amount of content. We've got 27 plus hours, 30 plus hours in our course of everything. We've got live student lessons. We've got making your first track. We've got how to use a saturator to get your music on the radio. Stuff that you wouldn't even learn at university. I've got more knowledge than a lecturer at university on music, probably double the amount of knowledge, and I've got an infinite amount of more experience, because the people teaching music at university have no experience in the music industry, and you're going to find that all around the world. And I think that's why this has been so helpful, because people in Brazil message me and they say, Omar, thank you so much for this course. There's no one in Brazil teaching it like you. So I really appreciate that, and it's like having this impact around the world, having students in over 150 countries has been brilliant. And when Chris messaged us, we had less than 3,000 students. So that's a tenth of the size we were now. So if we can get Chris 80,000 streams, and we're 10 times the size now, imagine what we can do for these upcoming artists when we get them on board. And Chris is going to get priority because he's an early adopter in this, and he's been a part of music workflow for a long time. So, we reward loyalty in our students. We reward the people who spread the word of music workflow, and we would never do anyone any harm. We would never mistreat an artist. We would never do anything like that. We've got good intentions, and we're here to help more people learn about music production, and help the grassroots of the industry. And I think people maybe some people, a small percentage, have misconceptions. Maybe they think music workflow is just here to make money, or just here to steal from people, or whatever. But we're here to help artists, and that reflects in our results. And if you actually take our courses, we take you on a journey of transformation, and there's so many people that have benefited from what we do. And we've come a long way. Like last year we were in the Daily Mail, the Metro, the Times, and then that was in about March time, and then we met Chris in June. He's still there, Chris. I just got a bit of a lag.
Yeah, still here, just listening.
Brilliant. And some people might not think a lot about those achievements. Oh, you're in the Daily Mail, so what? But to me, that's absolutely freaking massive. And I don't know anyone in a newspaper. Do you know anyone in a newspaper, Chris? Like a big one?
I don't, to be honest. No, I mean, when I read about that, I thought, well, this is huge, and I knew that the Workflow Academy was going places, and I'm just so honoured to be signed to this label, if I'm honest.
I know it's a brilliant record label, and I can't wait to see where it is in 10 years. I think it's going to be. I'm aiming to be the biggest record label on the planet and the best, and I can see it happening because it's about the music at the end of the day, isn't it, Chris? And
Yeah,
we're focused.
definitely.
We're focused 1 billion% on the music, and not only focused on the music, but we're helping other people make good music. So, you don't want to sign to label and you want to sign somewhere else, that's fine. We're happy to help you. We're happy to help you achieve your goals, whatever it is. If you want to play in a toilet at 7 a.m., I've done that in Ibiza. Do you know what I mean? I can help you with that. If you want to play in a cave in a 5-star resort in the Alps, we can help you. I've done that. I've played 31 nights in a row. I've played in front of 12,500 people at a festival in the UK. I've been booked in over 5 countries, and I'm 25. I'm looking to be world touring by 28. I'm creating amazing music every day, and I absolutely love the process. I wake up and I get to live the life of my dreams. I get to make music all day, help people make music, help people DJ, and nurture talent like Chris and help him grow. And when Chris came to me, I think he was a seed. He's been a flipping seed for 10 years, and we've helped him grow, and he's just turned into a massive tropical, coconut tree or something, or like some sort of magical plant. But it's just, and you're growing and you're turning into a garden almost. You've signed to another 3 record labels, which is again, huge testament to your music. And if I could press a button and find all of the people out there that needed my help, I'd do that. And that's why I'm trying to promote myself more with these marketing campaigns, is I want to find everyone out there that I can help and help them. And it's just going to be so big, isn't it, Chris? What we're doing is going to be so big.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is as well, I mean, it's a testament as well to Omar with the age as well. I mean, I mentioned this briefly before to you, didn't I? And you've got young kids who are, getting taught by Music Workflow Academy, and it's just incredible.
From the age of 10, I never thought I'd have the opportunity to work with that age group, and the kindness that I bring to their lives, and it's just amazing. And they're in other countries, it's a blessing to teach these kids, and they're great. They're all great, and the skills that they have. That one of my students is 13. I'm seeing him tomorrow. He's one of the best DJs I've seen out of professionals. He's a real talent for the future. He's truly really good. He's already mixing on 4 decks, and he's 13, and he's self-taught, I think, mostly. But he works with me every week, and he's one of the best DJs I've seen. He's miles ahead of most of the people in the academy, and he's that age. It's amazing. And a story that I forget to share sometimes is this. There's a 15-year-old, I think from America, and he had ADHD, and he really struggled to communicate and socialize, but he found his voice through making music, and I got to help him develop his skills with Ableton, and now he's doing really well. I got the 13-year-old a DJ set in Greece. He's already played his first set. It's like, took me till 20, so he's 7 years ahead of me. And I said, I'll just make sure he's on the right track, not getting in trouble in school. His mum messages me and says, keep him on the right track. And I've got him into a music program where he's learning Cubase in his school as an extracurricular program. And he's one of like 10 students that's allowed to do it. And anything he needs help with, we built him a website. He's got an amazing logo. Chris, you've got a website now as well. That's something we haven't even delved into. Like, we do web development and make sure our artists are set up. We got...
Yeah, that's right. It's www.cbdiscokid.com.
It's a great website. It's brilliant. I'm going to have a look at it now, actually, because I like it. cbdiscokid.com.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and everything we do is high standard, high quality. Like, I'm looking at Chris's website; it looks phenomenal, phenomenal. And if you're an artist and you haven't got a website, get in touch with us, because you need a website. Everyone needs a website. It's, it's non-negotiable in 2022. We're living in a digital age where everything's online. And we made a website for a 15-year-old in Florida, and he's got DJ gigs through the website. He takes bookings, but not some. We didn't even make the website, Chris. We just pointed you in the right direction, didn't we? And
that's correct. Yeah,
that's what we do. I didn't charge you for the website. People charge an extortionate amount of money to develop websites or whatever, but you can do it easily, can't you, Chris?
That's right. Yeah.
Using
I think I got it through WordPress. I think it was.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah, and these artists that we've got websites, they've done it themselves. How is a 15-year-old creating his own website and a 13-year-old, and you've got people out there that just aren't 50 and they've not done it. I get it. There's no excuse. But yeah, no, I think it's been great chatting. Is there anything else that we need to touch on? How long have we been going for? Is that about an hour?
Yeah, I think that's about an hour.
About an hour. I mean, we could go on all day, couldn't we, Chris?
Absolutely.
I'm going to ask you some questions that I got asked, and I thought they're really difficult. So we'll see what you think. So where do you see the music industry going from here, Chris?
From what, as for Music Workflow Academy, or for me, or
Let's do. Where do you think we're going? Where do you think you're going? Where do you think the industry's going as a whole?
I think as far as Music Workflow Academy goes, I think it's growing. Like I said earlier, it's growing massively. I think it's going to be one of the biggest labels. Today, to be honest.
Yeah, 100,000.
Where do I think I will be? Well, I'm hoping. Well, my next step is I'm hoping to get on something like Anjuna Records.
Yes.
Or Armada. That is my next step. And as far as the music industry as a whole, the thing is, there's that many artists who are wanting to get on the ladder, even right at the beginning, that it's incredibly hard to get where you want to be. Because the industry is growing all the time. And I think if you've got the right passion and you've got the right ideas and you just stick at what you love, then there's no stopping you.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's all about that, having that passion. You wouldn't believe some of these jokers that I get try and sign up for Music Workflow, and they go, "Oh, I want to DJ because it looks cool," or I want to DJ for the image, and they're not interested in the music. They just want to look cool. It's like, that is mind blowing to me, because you're not in it for the right reasons, and you're never gonna amount to anything with that attitude. If you're not passionate about music, go and do what you're passionate about. That's my advice. If you're passionate about cooking, go and be a chef. Because it's your passion at the end of the day that's going to drive you through these obstacles. Me and Chris have faced some serious adversity in our time, and when you hit those obstacles, you're going to go flying off course. Believe it or not, this isn't the first business I tried to start. I tried to start a marketing agency. Got so close to getting my first client on like a 5,000 retainer a month, a dentist, and then it fell through last minute. I got discouraged. I believed it was a good idea. I didn't have the right support around me, and the idea just kind of died. It was called Evolve Agencies, social media marketing. That was the company. I bought a course, I learned the skills, and then I started a business. It just didn't have the legs. But when COVID hit, I combined my passion, music, with my skills and knowledge, business, and obviously skills in music. And now we've got a music business. And I think we are the music industry. Music Workflow Academy is the music industry, because we help people more than anyone else. We provide the best affordable rates. We have the best courses, and I make the best sample packs out of anyone online. The sounds I make are just the best, and you can grab all of it from musicworkflowacademy.com. It's about quality of ingredients, and when it comes to this, that's, you know, the importance of samples, isn't it? You know, it's all about the importance of the quality of the samples, isn't it, Chris?
Yeah, definitely. If you get some samples which don't sound great, it's not going to sound great in your track, and that is the last thing you want.
You really, really, that is a no. It's a red flag. You know, you can't polish a turd. If you've got awful clap samples and awful kick samples, I'm sorry, but you're my friend. But you're just gonna, all your tracks are going to sound garbage. And these are hurdles. There's people who they look like they're trying to help you, like Splice, stuff like that. I don't like Splice. I think the samples on there suck. And if you're using sucky samples, your music's going to sound bad. Um, and do you know what, Chris? Whenever I say something that I feel is going to help people, when when I make a YouTube video or I record a podcast, when I say something and I go, "That's going to help someone," it makes me feel so good. It makes me feel so good because I know that whoever's listening, they're going to learn from that and they're going to maybe change their lifestyle a little bit, change their mindset. And we've even expanded into like life coaching and helping people with their mindset and positive thinking to develop um, their life and redesign their life in a way, because you can kind of see us as synthesizers. As humans, we're synthesizers. And you know, let's say serum, you know, you can tweak serum. You can stay as a sine wave, or you can go in there and tweak it, and you might not know what you're doing at first, but you can tweak it in a way to get it exactly how you want. You can turn yourself into a respace if you want to be a respace. Be a respace. If you want to be an organ, you can be an organ. It's about developing your sound and developing you as a person. You know, fortunately for me, I've got a great mindset and I'm very athletic and everything's positive in my life. You know, I cut out anyone that's negative, and I put myself in good places. You know, I went to university in Brighton because it had the most dance events there, so I knew that was my best chance of succeeding. So that's why I went to Brighton to be successful. And then I got loads of residencies from it and played at massive festivals from in Brighton. Played at clubs that ended up being top clubs in the UK and globally. And off the back of that, got to Ibiza, which is the mecca for dance music, and I got multiple residencies there at super clubs. They don't have super clubs anywhere else apart from Ibiza. I think Vegas they may have some super clubs. And off the back of Ibiza, got booked in a 5-star resort in France. And you know, not everyone's going to appreciate the talent, but they don't appreciate talent at all. So don't listen to those people. The right people will find you. Follow your niche, even when no one believes in you. Follow your sound and craft it and develop it, and you get to a point where people will appreciate that. You know, like I appreciated what Chris's sound was. He didn't have to do anything. You know, there's some minor mixing refinements, but that's what's going to happen. Everyone who sends music to me, if I'm interested, I'm going to look in your project and I'm going to say, this needs changing, this needs improving. We're going to improve everyone's music. And that experience alone is a reason and enough to email me anyway with your music. You should have sent it already if you haven't. You know, if you're serious about being a musician, you should send your music to me and I'll give you 5 key points to improve. And you're going to walk away double the producer that you were before sending me the music. And yeah, we're just here to help people. And you know, when you're passionate about something, you can persist, can't you, Chris? You can just persist. Like, I'm happy to talk to you all evening about it because you know we love what we do, and that's a lovely thing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the thing is as well, what I find as well, and whenever you're making music, how I always work is I try and have no distractions. I
Yeah,
turn my phone off, I make sure my internet's on, not on, should I say, and I concentrate purely on the music, and that is it.
that's
And the
amazing.
other thing is, I think once you've been working on your music for so long, this helped me a lot as well, especially with the mixing aspect. Come away from it because you've always got fresh ears in the morning.
Brilliant. That's a great tip. Fresh ears in the morning. Yeah, you know, we talk about ear fatigue in our courses. You know, when you've been mixing for 4 hours, you've been writing the track, and for 2 hours, and you mix it for four, and then your ears, you kind of lose track of where you were. You just like your ears stop working, and then some people say rest on it. I like we talk about span and how you can see the sound, and I find that quite helpful because you can identify problem frequencies and stuff that you don't want, and you can EQ it out using that. Obviously, you need a bit of experience, but about frequencies, it's all in the course. But you know, you can export it, listen to it in the car, listen to it on the on the speaker, and your mix is going to sound different on every speaker you play it on. It's just the way it works. And I appreciate that about music, is it changes its shape depending where you play it. I don't know about you, Chris. I've got KRK Rockets. You got?
Yeah, I've got some Adam Audio V5s, I think they are.
Mackies.
Amazing speakers, really happy with them. But the other tip I was going to mention is loudness is not always better, especially when you're mixing.
It's never better. It's never better. Instead of turning the volume up, I recommend saturating it, compressing it, distorting it, and then turning it down. And you want to achieve your loudness not through volume but through processing, and then that helps you again develop your sound in some unique ways. You need monitors as a producer. I think me and Chris are meeting. I think it's 1st of March, where we might talk about some music production techniques, but mostly just developing a new music video with some new software that we've found, and we're going to be doing that. And I think environment's a big factor. I think DJing is vital. It can be helpful, when it's vital, but not necessary. I mean, it's helpful to play music because you get an ear for what goes well together, what bass lines, what kicks. Most people were on the dance floor before a producer, and I think that's the best way to be. If you just go straight into production, you've got no musical taste, so you're not going to be able to make anything. So spend some time on the dance floor, then come to us, Music Workflow Academy, and we'll help you. All right, Chris, let's wrap this up. I haven't eaten dinner. We could talk for hours. I mean,
Yeah, not a problem.
yeah. I've really enjoyed catching up with you, and you're going to hear this on Spotify. We'll put the podcast on Spotify. You can listen to us on all major platforms. We use Anchor.fm, Anchor, ANCH. Anyway, Anchor.fm. It's getting late and I haven't eaten. I can't even spell Anchor right now. ANCHOR, Anchor, yeah. And then it promotes the podcast on all platforms. We'll be posting this on the blog for Music Workflow Academy, so that'll go out, and pop it on YouTube. And really enjoyed this. This has been one of my favorite podcasts because I admire Chris as an artist, and he's become a good friend. We're very close, and I keep all my students on WhatsApp because they're all in the same space and can communicate with them easily. And what are your plans for the rest of the evening, Chris?
I think I'm going to chill out. I think tonight been long day because I'm still working, working from home at the moment, still office working. But like I say, that isn't my dream. I'm going to be taking up full-time music production.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's far away now, if I'm honest.
No, you're there. That Scream, a big producer. He said, once you spent 10 years in the industry, that's when you're going to get a job. We can maybe bring you on as a sound designer, or when the budget gets bigger or something at some point. But just keep hustling. You're going to make it. I've got 100% confidence in you. And 99.9% of these academies and schools and YouTubers, they don't believe in their artists, or I believe in my artists and my students, and I'll make sure that you succeed. I'll give you the same tools that I have, out of the kindness of my own heart to help you succeed. And we'll keep you focused on those goals, and you're going to achieve it. So I was going to share one more story. We've had a new student in Southampton. He's booked me as a headliner to play his show in I think April, and he he's taken the course and he's going to be doing music full time in September. So he's almost there. That's his goal.
Awesome.
And he's got a kid. So there you go, guys. That's the Power of Music Workflow Academy. That's Power of Music. So thank you all so much for listening. Hope you've enjoyed Chris on as a guest as much as I have. It's been one of my favorite podcast sessions. Very wholesome and nice. And looking forward to mine and Chris's next lesson. If you guys, want to get stuck in and hear the blood, sweat, and tears that I'm putting into the academy, go check out the course, musicworkflowacademy.com, and we'll see you very soon because we're going to be growing very, very quickly. Okay, thank you, Chris. We're going to get
Take care, guys.
We're going to go for 10,000 subscribers next year. That's the goal.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Speak to you soon. We're going to
Cheers.
Bye.